Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Exploring the Arts with me, Kalinmonet Brown, also known as Kalinmonet. And today we are going to do a tutorial in acrylic paint, and it's just to teach you guys a few more techniques to add on to the ones that we learned in the last acrylic paint tutorial. In the last acrylic paint tutorial, we talked about the dry brush effect and also how to mix colors together on canvas, and also the toothbrush splatter, which a paintbrush can be used instead. We're going to be using those techniques in this tutorial, but we're also going to be doing a couple of new ones as well. In this painting, we're just going to stick to a few colors. I have a neon pastel green, a deep purple, black, white, a very deeply saturated neon pink, and I'm going to later introduce a dark green, grass green color. You probably wouldn't think this would look good, but trust me in the end. You can go ahead and use as many colors as you want as well, and I think it's really interesting when you pick just a couple of colors. Things that you could come up with are absolutely amazing. To get started, we're going to lay down a base color, which will be our purple and pink here. Later on I'm going to also include a little bit of the green that you see here. If you haven't seen the last tutorial, I definitely recommend you check it out. It goes into a little bit more detail on how we do the clouds that you see in this painting here. But to give you a brief overview, lay down your base color, grab a little bit of white on the dry brush, blend it in circular motions, and then we're going to do my favorite thing, which is the toothbrush paint splatter. And that's just taking a toothbrush. Some artists decide they want to go with a paintbrush and just splattering paint around either your canvas or either your piece of paper like I'm using for your artwork. And that's it for this guy for now. We're going to come back to it in a little bit. So one of the techniques I'm going to teach you guys this time is something called scumbling. So that's when you take a base color and you paint that over the canvas, or in my case, my piece of paper I'm working with, and then I layer over top of that another color in strokes. So this is what's going to create the grass in this painting. First we need to put our base color down, which is where the deep green color comes into play. So put that onto the piece of paper, in my case, canvas if you have one. And I'm also going to go in and blend a little bit of purple at the baseline of where the sky and the ground meets. So with scumbling, you'll need to let the base color dry a little bit, and in the meantime I'm just going to go back in and I'm going to be adding a little bit more white to the clouds this time, mixed in with the base color, the purple or the pink, because I want the clouds to pop. And then throw in a few more stars and also a few hand-painted stars. So once we finish with our clouds and our sky, we're going to jump back into the grass and also the scumbling effect, since the base color has dried by now. One of the beauties of working with acrylic paint is that it dries so quickly. So we've completed the first half of it, and the second half of it is just going in with different colors of shades of green to create the grass, because that's what we're going for. And if it were let's say we were doing the scumbling for the clouds, so we would probably go in with a couple of whites, a couple of pinks, a couple of purples, and a couple of other shades of those colors as well. But since we're doing the grass, we're going with green, shades of green. So we're going to be using the neon green, we're going to be using a little bit of the grass green mixed with white, a little bit of the grass green mixed with black, and we're just going to go in and create these broad strokes, and we're just going to let the colors blend naturally. And that concludes the scumbling effect. So we're going to let that dry just for a little bit, and then we're going to come back in and we're going to use a new effect. The new effect will be a gradient relief. So that is just repeatedly applying paint onto canvas or the paper and letting the colors blend naturally. In this painting here, we're gonna have some flowers. So I'm gonna start with a small round tip brush, which allows me to create petal effects, essentially. And I'm gonna start from the back and work my way forward, the same way you would see in real life, where whatever's in the foreground, it's in the foreground, whatever's in the background is in the background. So we're gonna start with the background and work our way forward because of the layering effect. Whatever is being painted last will be shown first. Just like in reality, whatever's closest to you, you see first. In this part, I'm going to randomly put some paint onto the brush and just dab it onto the paper. As I get closer to the foreground, I'm going to grab a larger round tip brush and continue the same pattern all the way through until I get to a point where I feel comfortable enough and also doesn't completely cover up the grass that we've painted. Now you have new skills to add to your acrylic paint skills, and you've learned gradient relief, scumbling, dry brush, splatter paint, and mixing on canvas. And there are many more, but these are definitely my go-to techniques. And a lot of artists, they pick one of these techniques and they kind of make a thing out of it, which is absolutely amazing. Definitely do your research and let me know if there's anything else you might want to learn about acrylic paint. I'll be more than happy to share. I use all these techniques regularly, combined together, individually, or either I go ahead and use other techniques as well, which I can cover in later videos if you like. But these are definitely go-tos for me, and hopefully they'll be go-tos for you as well. And I will see you next time.